is all about big plays and high scores. But if you're like me, who loves the old school style, then nothing beats a hard-hitting defense. The real excitement comes from the tough, hard-hitting defenders who used to rule the game. These were the guys who hit so hard that fans still talk about them today. Let's take a look at the top 10 most feared tacklers in NFL history. The players who made everyone think twice before stepping onto the field. Number 10. Ryan Clark might not be the first name that comes to mind for a list of hard-hitting players, but his reputation as a heavy hitter is undeniable. A prime example was his memorable 2008 tackle on Wes Welker.
And Ryan Clark laid out Wes Welker.
A hit so powerful, it sent Welker's feet flying into the air, even smacking Clark in the head. Clark led with his shoulder, though it was a late hit, a classic de-cleating moment in NFL terms. That same year, in the AFC Championship game, Clark delivered another bone-rattling hit on Willis McGahee, knocking both players out of the game. Clark was down for several minutes, and McGahee had to spend the night in the hospital, though both recovered quickly. Clark played in an era when big hits often led to penalties. Despite being flagged for some of his most famous tackles, including that one on Welker, his hits left fans and teammates alike in awe. Even teammate Troy Polamalu crossed himself after witnessing the Welker hit. Alright, who's got a better hit in your mind than Clark and Welker? Number 9. John Lynch may not have been the most athletically gifted player in the NFL, but he made up for it with his intensity and toughness. A 9-time Pro Bowler and 4-time All-Pro, Lynch was a key player in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl winning team in 2002. In one unforgettable game, Lynch played against his childhood best friend, who also happened to be his brother-in-law. He hit him so hard, he knocked him out cold. Now think about it. If you knocked out your best friend on the field, what would you say afterward? Since retiring, Lynch has channeled his passion into a successful career off the field. As the general manager of the San Francisco 49ers, he's built one of the league's most talented rosters, leading them to 2 Super Bowl appearances. Can we get a like for the big hits? Show some love for these legends. Number 8. Shawn Taylor only played a little over 3 years in the NFL before his life was tragically cut short in a home invasion in 2007. But even in his short career, he made an unforgettable impact with highlight reel hits and earned 2 Pro Bowl selections. Most players see the Pro Bowl as a chance to relax and have some fun, but not Shawn Taylor. He played with the same intensity as any regular season game. In the 2006 Pro Bowl, the AFC team ran a fake punt, hoping to catch the defense off guard, but Taylor was ready. He charged toward the sideline and delivered a crushing hit on the punter, sending him reeling. The punter, still dazed, actually walked over to Taylor afterward to congratulate him, even hugging him, a rare moment of respect after such a hard hit on the field. Ever been hit so hard you'd still hug the guy after? Let us know below. Honest answers only. Number 7. If you're a fan of hard-hitting football, you probably know Steve Atwater. Nicknamed the Smiling Assassin, Atwater was one of the best safeties in the NFL during the 1990s.
That's astonishing. It's absolutely world-class.
His career was filled with achievements: 8 Pro Bowl appearances, 3 All-Pro selections, 2 Super Bowl wins, and a place on the 1990s All-Decade team. And in 2020, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Atwater was famous for his bone-crushing tackles, and one of his most unforgettable hits came on a Monday night in 1990 against Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare. Okoye was known for his power, dominating the league with 1,480 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns the previous season. But when he and Atwater met head-on, Atwater stopped Okoye in his tracks.
What a hit! Atwater! Wow, what a sock by Atwater!
Knocking him down and taunting him afterward. That moment changed things for Okoye, who was never quite the same and left the league just 2 years later. For the first time, the unstoppable Okoye was sent backward, all thanks to the Smiling Assassin. Hit like if you're a fan of hard-hitting football. Let's see that support. Number 6. Ronny Lott was a unique blend of a ball hawk and a punisher. As a key player on the San Francisco dynasty teams of the 1980s, Lott was known for laying out receivers with hits so hard that many of them simply stopped trying after a few attempts.
Sims protected well, too high!
But Lott's toughness didn't end there. In 1985, Lott famously chose to have part of his pinky finger amputated rather than miss games due to surgery.
I had to go see the doctor so he could repair it. He says, well, look, one of your bones is missing in the finger. I chose to get the finger amputated so I could play.
Pinky finger or playoffs? Would you choose the same as Lott? Comment yes or no way? That level of commitment is rare, and it's why Lott is still revered as one of the toughest players in NFL history. Lott wasn't just a hard hitter. He was an intimidating presence who could change the course of a game with one thunderous blow. Number 5. James Harrison's path to NFL success wasn't easy, but when he finally got his shot, he made it count.
Steelers backing off quick.
Though he didn't become a regular starter until age 29, he still achieved 4 All-Pro selections, 5 Pro Bowls, a Super Bowl title, and the 2008 Defensive Player of the Year award in a relatively short time. Harrison was known for his powerful strip sack technique, forcing 25 fumbles between 2007 and 2010. But he was more than a quarterback's nightmare. For 5 years, there was no scarier sight on the field than Debo, one of the league's strongest players, charging toward you. His hard-hitting, old-school style stood out, especially as the NFL began cracking down on big hits. Number 4. Brian Dawkins ranks 4th on our list of the hardest hitters in NFL history. But when it comes to passion for the game, he might just be unmatched. For over 15 years, Dawkins was a force on defense, patrolling the field with intensity and making life miserable for opposing offenses. A Hall of Famer, Dawkins racked up 37 career interceptions, but it was his bone-crushing hits that earned him the nickname Weapon X. In one iconic game against the Packers, he even called his shot, mimicking Babe Ruth's famous move, and delivering on his promise with a devastating play. Teammate Takeo Spikes had a front-row view of Dawkins' intensity, both on and off the field. Known for his wild pre-game rituals, Dawkins often spoke in tongues and held animated conversations with the football.
Whatever you got, I expect that. On every phase, God talking, we gonna dominate this thing.
Channeling a kind of energy that made him a true menace to opponents. If you are enjoying watching the video, hit the like and subscribe button and keep watching till the end, because our top pick will surely surprise you, I bet it. Number 3. Jack Tatum was one of the most feared players in NFL history. Playing for John Madden's Oakland Raiders, Tatum embodied the toughness and physicality that the team was known for, often pushing the boundaries of what the rules allowed. The Raiders, in their iconic silver and black, commanded respect across the league. But no one struck more fear into opponents than Tatum, number 32, famously nicknamed the Assassin. He was more than just a hard hitter. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler, an All-Pro, and a Super Bowl champion, proving he had the skill to match his reputation. Tatum's career is marked by 3 unforgettable hits. The most famous was his bone-rattling tackle on Vikings receiver Sammy White, which sent White's helmet flying in what's often called the biggest hit in Super Bowl history. Another was his explosive goal line collision with Earl Campbell, and the most tragic was his 1979 hit on Darryl Stingley, which left Stingley paralyzed and sparked widespread debate about the game's violence. Number 2. As a kid, you might have found Dick Butkus's name funny, but you wouldn't have dared to laugh if he were around. Butkus was the definition of toughness, a force at the heart of the Chicago Bears defense from 1965 to 1973. He was the monster in Chicago's famous Monsters of the Midway teams of the 1960s. A player no one wanted to face. Among legendary linebackers like Ray Nitschke, Jack Lambert, and Chuck Bednarik, Butkus was the one who struck the most fear into his opponents. He played with intensity, never missing a chance to remind others of his presence on the field. During his 9 seasons, Butkus earned 8 Pro Bowl selections, made 8 All-Pro teams, and won back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year awards in 1969 and 1970. Number 1. Dick Night Train. Lane set an NFL record with 14 interceptions in a season with only 12 games in 1952, a record that still stands today. Averaging more than 1 interception per game, Lane went on to finish his Hall of Fame career with 68 interceptions, ranking 4th all-time. He earned 10 All-Pro honors and was selected for 7 Pro Bowls. Lane was known for his fierce all-around play. Back then, defensive skills included not only intercepting passes but also delivering hard hits, and Lane excelled at both. He was unapologetically aggressive, famously saying he'd never seen a good tackle below the eyebrows. He was one of the first players to use his face mask to bring down opponents so forcefully that the move was soon banned. As we wrap up our countdown of the top 10 hardest hitters in NFL history, it's clear that these players not only changed the game, but also left their mark in NFL history. If you want to feel the fear those legends instilled in their opponents, watch 10 Scariest Players in NFL History 2024. To find out who stands above the rest at each position, check out The GOAT of Every Position in the NFL 2024. Don't miss them.